my YouTube channel in a long time, but I'm back. I wanted to answer a few questions. About 2 or 3 months ago, I posted on my Instagram that I wanted to do a question and answer just about some of the daily things that we go through now, or the daily, the changes that I went through whenever I moved up here. There's definitely been a lot of changes. A lot of the questions were about kind of the same thing, so I kind of just summarized it into 5 main questions. This isn't going to be a very long video. So the first question is, what is the hardest part about moving away from home? The hardest part about moving away from home is definitely that you are away from family. Whenever I got married, if you guys see any shadows moving across my face, Vader's playing in the window, so that's what that is. The hardest part about moving away from home was definitely getting used to the fact that I wasn't with my family anymore. Whenever I got married, I literally moved straight from my childhood home, the bedroom I had since I was a little girl, to a whole nother state. And we also, if you don't know, we moved into like an Airbnb, and it was like a shed outside of a house. So it was very different. But I remember the hardest thing to get used to is, if my whole family was with me, it would be no problem. It was just me and Matthew by ourselves. So we didn't have, Vader, get down 1 second. So it was just Matthew and I by ourselves. Whenever we moved up here, we didn't bring any family with us. They didn't drive us up here. We came up here by ourselves. And then we moved into this little shed. We kept most of our stuff in our vehicle, but we moved into this little shed. And you want to say hi? You want to say hi? So we moved into this little shed, and that was our home. So the hardest part was definitely moving away from family, especially since I am so incredibly close to my sisters. My sisters are my best friends, and we are so incredibly close, like I mentioned. So I would do everything with them. At night, we would hang out in my room together. We'd go shopping together. We'd go out to eat together. Me and my sisters did everything. They were my best friends, or they are my best friends. So the hardest part was definitely moving away from family and moving away specifically from my sisters. I knew I'd have to leave my parents one day, and that's something too. I knew I'd have to leave my family one day, but it's different when you can't just like most people move out of the house to like an apartment nearby or another house nearby. Whenever we moved out, it was a whole nother state. It was 1,000 miles away. We can't just drive home every weekend to see them, or go drive a few blocks away and see them every day. So that was definitely the hardest part, was being so far away from family. The next question was, how long are we going to be here? So I have a rough estimate to give you. We have about 2 years left, a little under 2 years. So we'll be here for a little under 2 years still. So yeah, that's how long. The next question is, how is married life different? Well, number one, Matthew was in the military whenever we got married. So being married meant I got to be with him every day. So he would get up, go to work, and I would see him every night. So definitely how married life was different. The first thing that comes to mind is we got to be together. Whenever we were just engaged or dating or engaged, we got to see each other once every 4 or 5 months. So yeah, definitely being together, that was definitely the biggest thing we were excited for about being married. And then obviously you get to sleep next to them every night. You get to live together. Well, for us anyways, we didn't live together until we got married. So that was incredibly, incredibly fun. So I would say married life in every single way is positive. Besides him not taking out the trash and not cleaning the toilet and stuff like that, or cleaning around the apartment, I don't think married life is any different in our relationship as it was when we were dating or engaged. To us, it just enhanced our relationship. So hardest things to get used to about living in a new state. The hardest things to get used to was, number one, they don't call tags like they call it in California. So like the expiration date of your license, not your license plate, but I guess your vehicle, we call them tags in California. Here they're called tabs. That was really hard to get used to. And then that's just something so silly, but it was very hard to get used to. The weather is so different here. Right now the highest we're getting is 55, 60. I know at home it's still a pretty decent 70, 75. I could be wrong. I'm not living at home right now, but and also the winter, it snows here. It does not snow back home in California. The last time it snowed where I lived was in 1998. So it does not snow back home where I'm from. But yeah, so the weather's a lot different. It's a lot colder here. It is so rainy and dreary, so dark. I got really sick whenever I first got here, and I didn't know what it was from, and then I called my family, and I talked to them a little bit about it, and they were like, oh, you might be vitamin D deficient. And I talked to all of my friends and stuff here and my coworkers, and they're like, oh yeah, you're definitely vitamin D deficient, because I was just feeling drowsy and sick. And so, yeah, that was a huge difference too, is it doesn't, during the wintertime and the fall time, you don't get in the wintertime and the fall time, you don't get a whole lot of sunlight, and that is really, really different from living in Washington, from living in California. Then the last question is, how do you know you're ready to leave home? This is something that I cannot give you a definitive answer on because I was not ready to leave home. But whenever I think about it, I don't think anyone is ready to leave home. I think you're just, because I know I've talked to my friends and stuff, and it was just as hard for them to leave to college as me to move off with my husband. So how do you know you're ready to leave home? You're not. You're never going to know you're ready to leave home. I think it's one of those things that you just have to tell yourself, you know what? I got it. Whenever you are financially stable, whenever you're financially stable, whenever you have a steady income, whenever you're obviously old enough, whenever you have, I would say prepared, but we weren't prepared at all. So it's kind of like, you're not going to be ready. Whenever you feel as though you're ready for a new adventure, I feel like then you can move out of your house. But like I said, I would say the most important thing is being financially stable, having a steady income. In our situation, it was different because we moved to a whole nother state. But if you're just moving out of your house back home, if you have a steady job, I work as a leasing agent in an apartment complex, so I firsthand know how hard it is to get apartments. So having good credit, rental history, job history, all that kind of stuff is very important if you're going to get an apartment moving out of your house. Also, you might want to have roommates to help with rent, to help with utilities, all that kind of stuff. But, how do you know you're ready to leave home? You're not going to be ready. You're never going to be ready. It's one of those things that life just kind of thrusts you into. So if you feel like you're ready for a new adventure, I would say go for it, because leaving home is definitely an adventure. So yeah, that's all the questions. I know it's a super short video, but I just wanted to answer these because I did ask these a long time ago. So yeah, you want to say bye? Yeah, I did get these asked a long time ago, so I thought I'd just pop on here and answer them. I know I said on my Instagram I'd answer them with Matthew, but I never know when he's going to leave. He left before we could film the video, and then in the weeks leading up to him leaving, he was packing and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's just me, but I hope you learned a little bit. I hope you understand me a little bit more, and I hope you got your questions answered if you had any at all about my life, or if you're just wondering, in general, not about me, but just about life in general. Yeah, that's going to be it. And I hope you all enjoyed watching, and subscribe and like if you haven't already. In case you didn't know, just a little update on my life. I recently started I would call it a faith blog. It wasn't necessarily because I wanted to start a blog. I just wanted to have somewhere where I could document my life and my walk with Jesus, and me and my husband's walk with God. And because that's definitely the foundation of our marriage. Or we try our best. We're not great all the time, but that's definitely the foundation we try to build it on. I do have a blog. It's at bretlinmentor.com. And it's just a faith blog. It just gives you some reminders about some hard things in life that you might be struggling with. Just difficult times and stuff. I like to write about the things that I go through, and if it helps any of you, then that's all the purpose really is for me. You can follow me on my Instagram. That's all the questions, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.